Hi, I'm Hemgesberg, and today I'm going to talk about my website on adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions and mixed numbers that I created for EDU 709. The website is called Fractions by Mr. Hemgesberg. The website encompasses 5 different steps, and give a little background on why I created this website. Is because my students, and to let you know, I teach GED preparation. My students range in the age of 17 to 60. My students have a lot of trouble with fractions and mixed numbers. And so I wanted to create something that would help them out on the GED test. As I said, the website goes through 5 different steps, and next I will show you what the steps are. The first step are 2 PowerPoint presentations, one on adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions, and one on adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing mixed numbers. The PowerPoints are set up through a slideshow due to the fact that on Weebly, where the site that I use to create my website, you can't just take a slideshow and paste it right on there. You could, if you wanted to have your students download the slideshow itself, but I thought it would be easier to take my slides, take them individually and create them into JPEGs and create a slideshow so they can interact with it. The second step are YouTube videos. The first YouTube video is something I created myself. The rest of the YouTube videos are through the Khan Academy. And if you don't know about the Khan Academy is a great resource for students who are having trouble with math. I've had students in the past, one for example, he had trouble with algebra. He used the Khan Academy videos when studying for the GED when at after school hours when I wasn't there for him. The third step is class assignment, study guide, and an interactive PowerPoint. The assignment was created through Google Docs, and it is an assignment on adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions and mixed numbers. The study guide also encompasses adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing mixed numbers, and also does the PowerPoint. I will show you the PowerPoint when I get to the slides on step 3. Step 4 is made up of 2 quizzes. Both quizzes were made on Google Docs. And step 4, the students can take the quiz and write down the answers on a separate sheet of paper, or I've given them the option of printing off the paper and working the problems out on that Google Doc worksheet. Again, this is just something to see where they're at. Step 5 is a test, a multiple choice test that is 30 questions on adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing mixed numbers. And again, I gave them the option of putting the answers on a separate sheet or printing out the test and writing right on that. Another part on here that I will go into later is I had a survey made. I made it myself on Google Docs, and it was just to see what my students thought of their experience with this website, good or bad. Just some constructive criticism to work on for next time. So why don't I go into the steps. Step 1, as it said, PowerPoint on fractions. I want the students to work the problem out on a separate sheet of paper and take notes. I want them to show me their notes. Now, students in GED preparation do not get, in my program, do not get A's, B's, C's, you know, the typical grading scale. Students are independent studies. They do independent studies, but what we do is we have a lab, and we run a lab for anywhere from an hour to a lab can last from an hour to 3 hours. So we run a lab, and in this lab that I'm doing it on fractions and mixed numbers. So I'm using this website. So students are going to be taking notes, and then they're going to show them to me just so I know that they're actually working on what I would like them to work on. As you can see, if you need help, feel free to call me over and I will help you. So I, make sure they know that I'm there to help them. So the first step is on the step, I guess you'd say step 1A is on PowerPoint on fractions. I call it a PowerPoint, but it's actually a slideshow, but it was taken from a PowerPoint. Here's an example of the first slide they see. It breaks down the steps of adding and subtracting, multiplying, dividing, fractions, and I go through a step-by-step process. Step 1B, as you could say, the second part in step 1, mixed numbers PowerPoint. Basically the same as the fractions. I have a slideshow that goes through the mixed numbers, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing mixed numbers. And here again is a section talks about adding mixed numbers. Again, students take notes, show them to me, and I know that they're on the right path. I'm always there for them if they don't understand something, and we'll work through it. Step-by-step process on this slideshow so the students can take their time and learn how to do the right have the right discipline for adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing mixed numbers. Step 2 encompasses videos, multimedia. I like multimedia as much as any other person. I think it's great for the classroom. It gets students thinking, and it's an out-of-the-box type of thinking. The first video that I have on here was created by me, and it is on adding fractions. And here's an example. The second video, subtracting fractions, was created by the Khan Academy. And as I said in the intro, the Khan Academy is a great resource for students to help them understand math and the different disciplines of math. And I love showing these to my students because if they're not getting what I'm saying, then hopefully they'll understand what the people at the Khan Academy are showing. Sometimes you try to reach every learning style you can, but sometimes you just don't, and so something like this helps you cover the ones that you don't reach. Step 3 is a class assignment on fractions and mixed numbers. Now, there's 3 parts to this. The first part is the actual worksheet, which is created in Google Docs. And here's an example of it right here. This is the fraction worksheet. There's 2 worksheets. I'm sorry, there's 1 worksheet. There's the one here has fractions and mixed numbers, and it has all 4 different types: adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. The other part is a study guide that I had created years ago that I felt would work great with this. But the one thing I'm most proud of that I created was the PowerPoint, interactive PowerPoint, and I will bring that up for everybody right now. Now this is the interactive PowerPoint I created for my students, and they are able to I didn't, of course, I couldn't do it in a slideshow because it wouldn't be interactive. So they're able to download this, and this is how they work the problems out. Fractions of mixed numbers. My directions, and I'll just go through the first slide. Um, Add the following fractions. When you are done with all problems, click on the problems for the answers. Simplify your answer if possible. So, the first one floats in, work that out. Second one, third, and then here come the answers. So they should get 1/3 for number 1, 2 1/4 for number 2, and 1 and 37/72 for number 3. Now, this may seem simple to most people, but when you have somebody who is in their between 40s and 60s, um, this is fun to them. This is outside of the box for them. With the demographic that I teach, not a lot of people have computers. And if they do use a computer, it's at the library to go on Facebook or check their email. So something like this, number one, shows them that you can create something fun to learn from. And again, I hate to keep using this term, but it's outside the box, so it lets the student see that there are different ways to learn. I'll go back to my first presentation. So that's step 3, and here, as I said before, here is the example of my fractions worksheet. Step 4 is quiz on fractions. Step 4, there's 2 parts to it. The first part is a quiz on fractions, which is again made up through Google Docs, and it looks like this. You solve the problems, reduce if possible, write your answers on a different piece of paper, then turn it into me when you're done so I can check it and make sure the answers are right. If they're not right, then what I'll do is I'll sit down and I'll work them out with the student. The next part to part 4, step 4, is quiz on mixed numbers. Again, it's the same concept, and here's the quiz on mixed numbers. It's the same concept. Solve the problems, either print it out or write on a different sheet of paper. When you're done, turn it into me. Make sure that they're all right, and then we go from there. And that's the thing with the GED process. You don't want to leave anybody in the dark. Not saying that you would in regular education, but this is basically do or die for most people. You don't want to leave them in the dark, so that means that when they're done with this, if they have something wrong or they totally bomb this quiz, I need to sit down with them or a colleague, one of the parapros that we have, can sit down with them and say, okay, this is what you did here. This is why it's wrong, and then sit down and show them how to do it the right way. Step 5 is the test. The test is on fractions of mixed numbers, and again, it is a test that I created with Google Docs, and it's the measuring stick to see how they've done. What I like to do is do each step, one step a day. And so, we'll take 1 week and work on this. So by the 5th day, on Friday, we can take this test, and then when come back Monday from the weekend, refresh and ready to go, we can go over this test. And again, this is something where I can take the test and say, a lot of people got this problem wrong. And so let's work this out. Let's find out what you did wrong. And we can have a discussion on this. And here's an example of the test. It's a multiple choice test, 30 questions. Again, I give them the option of writing it on a different sheet of paper or printing it out and then turning it into me. Actually, the rules or the directions on here say write your answers on a different sheet of paper, but I also do give them the option of printing it out because sometimes you just don't want to look at a screen. You just rather look at the paper, and I've been there before. So that goes to the end of the lab survey, which I have my students take. I want to see, am I presenting this the right way? Do you like this? Do you not like this? And here's, some of the questions. Did the website help you with fractions and mixed numbers? If anything, what would you change about this website lesson? If anything, what would you not change about? And there's a few more questions in that. What part of the website was your favorite? And as you see, PowerPoint's on there, but they can select from YouTube videos, lessons, the quizzes, the final test, nothing or everything. And so, it helps me with constructive criticism, lets me know if I'm doing something right, which always is great. As teachers, we know we always want to hear that we're doing something right. But we always want to know if we're doing something bad, because if we are not teaching to our full potential, then there's something wrong there. And I want to teach my full potential, and I want my students to pass their GED because I want them to have better lives than what they have right now. And so that's, kind of on my soapbox, but that's why I do the survey. I want to know what's right and what's wrong. Well, that's the end of my slideshow and my presentation on the website I created. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love for everybody to go to the website if they get a chance. It's Fractions by Mr. Hemgesberg. Weebly, WEEBLY .com, and you get a chance to go there, check out my work, use it for your students. Shoot me an email, let me know what you think about it. I want to thank everybody for listening to me today, and I hope everybody has a great time.